Hello, and welcome back to another episode of 428 Shibuya Scramble. I'm hanging out with Yoshi here.
What's up, folks?
Um, do you remember what happened last time? It's kind of been a little
It's
bit
been a
since we
minute.
recorded last.
Um, so, oh geez, not really.
Shall I?
I know that they kept passing the briefcase back and forth. Like, they keep running around with the briefcase. It's like some kind of wild goose chasey thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then like, I don't remember much else from last week.
So we hung out with these two characters. Um, Minorikawa, he's like a journalist, reporter. He got a call from some guy, an old boss or something. Um, and the guy he made a moist sound in the phone. If you remember
Really?
that.
No, I don't remember that. Oh, I remember making a weird sound. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he
And then
was
he killed
going
himself.
he went into yeah. He killed himself, and he didn't make it in time because this guy wanted to talk to his girlfriend's
I
dad.
wanted. Oh, and he got in the. He's like, "Hey, you gotta share your cab." And the guy was like, "No, my friend's about to freaking kill himself." And he's like, I'm important too." And then yeah, so Kana's got blood on his hands. It's all coming back to me now.
Okay. So, looking at the time chart, Kano's story is complete. We still can't play Achi.
Damn, he's my favorite.
I think changing Minorikawa's story also opened up Osawa and Tama, even though we had brought them to completion. So we could check those guys out, but the choice is yours.
Let's do. Um, let's do Tama.
Tama? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is where
Who's
we talk,
this?
right? Yeah.
This is Tama.
I think this is. I'm trying to remember his name. Yanagishita. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on?
Mr. Yanagishita briskly rummaged through his bindle, then thrust a cat costume out toward me. I gotta find
What?
the Tama voice
Here?
again. No, I was voicing Tama. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm like the
sorry.
narration's in her head. What? Here?
Yeah, before the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples.
We already saw this, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to try Burning Hammer energy drink. It sounds good. The job's already started, you know.
Do you think it would be good on like pasta or something? It's just really spicy.
No, it's a drink. You don't put a drink on pasta. It's refreshing. I mean, I guess you could put white wine on pasta, but no, this is like I could see like drinking a can to like clear my head after a long swim.
Yeah. You just gotta make sure you eat stuff or else you'll black out.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
And with
I'm gonna
that,
have some pasta.
Mr. Yanagishita went about getting me into the mascot suit. Yeah, I wonder if it works if you drink it while eating. It's probably fine, right?
I think so. It
Looking
burns
back on
away
it,
all the
it
fat.
was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. I wonder what's different about this. Still, if I'm going to get my hands on that necklace, I'll have to take the chance that this job will pay out. There's a knock at the door.
Ooh, who could it be?
Mr.
Huh? Who could that be?
Mr. Yanagishita asks.
We got a customer already?
He opens the door and heads outside.
Oh, this is me, right?
Yeah, she has like a chicken voice, I believe.
Yeah. No way is that a customer. I mean, right?
She guzzles from her 2-liter bottle of iced tea.
That better be a diet. No one's gonna buy something as sketchy as this.
I guess not, I agree. About the only thing I can really say about Burning Hammer is that it's spicy.
Anyhow, wanna get something to eat?
But you just ate lunch. 2 lunches.
I know this amazing Chinese buffet. Wanna come along? Because I am gonna dominate.
Huh?
Someday I plan to chow my way through every item on their menu.
Before I can respond, I hear a sudden outburst in the hallway. I'm unsure about who that is. I have a guess, but you interpret it as you think.
Okay. What the hell are you thinking, selling something like this?
The voice sounds harsh and strained.
Nailed it.
It's quickly followed by another voice, Mr. Yanagishita, sounding desperately apologetic.
Well, be fair now. I did ask whether or not you were on an empty stomach. Oh, is this a cosplay detective?
He must have given someone some burning hammer, huh? I say. Chiri nods.
Yeah, maybe. But that's weird. Did we really get a customer this early?
Yeah, isn't the sales demo not until 1 o'clock? There are more sounds from the hallway. Chiri gets a weird look on her face.
Whoa, what? What the heck? Is this cheating? Well,
I
what's
guess
going
so.
on?
Suddenly, a man kicks down the door and bursts in, shrieking like a madman. His face is flushed, steam is erupting from every pore. Chiri and I can only stare, frozen with bewilderment, as he rampages around the room, smashing everything in sight.
I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib.
In a matter of moments, the venue is completely totaled. Then the guy simply charges back out the door. No chance of holding a sales demo now. Why did this have to happen? Who was that guy? Why do you have to do this? Bad end.
Yeah.
So something we changed last time changed the fate of other folks. There wasn't much Tama and Chiri could do to stop this strange intruder from destroying the sales event. But why did he show up in the first place, especially at this hour? The man in question has a clear choice to make at 11:30, and poor Tama's fate hinges on what he decides. Alright.
Alright. Well, there's only one other dude for us, right?
I mean, we could also see
Oh, no, there's
Osawa. Osawa and Minorikawa are 2 options.
Okay. Let's go to... Wait, so Minorikawa is the one probably who's going to affect this, right?
Yeah. That was him that ran in, huh? Or am I giving you too much information?
Oh, I guess I'm supposed to recognize him, but it was just a quick little... That's fine. That's cool. I was supposed to know that. Alright, let's do Minorikawa.
Okay. Last we saw him, his boss hung himself, but Uh, it's changed now that Kano didn't jump in front of the taxi.
Okay.
I think that's the guy he's trying to save, right? The only thing I can do now is
Yeah.
die.
Who's the guy? You or me?
I think it was you. You did most of the character voices.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember.
I'm
Do you
trying to
remember
remember
what any of them sound like?
what you made him sound like. Made him like maybe a little wimpy, I guess.
Okay. The only thing I can do now is die.
The taxi's tires squealed as the cab rounded a corner. The shift in momentum made Minorikawa topple over in the back seat. I know I voiced the cab driver, so this is it's been so long. I wonder what the voices we chose were. There we go. 10 minutes on the dot, the driver announced. Minorikawa righted himself and looked out the window. Shibuya Station.
Yeah, I don't remember what Midoriyama sounds like either, but because he's a journalist, I think he's probably gonna be like a kind of a hard-boiled like Philip Marlowe type. I knew you could do it, Mr. Kimizuka.
He told the driver how to get to Heaven Publishing. It shouldn't be more than 5 minutes further. Sir, if I may ask, just what are you in such a hurry over?
My friend's gonna fucking kill himself. Oh, son of a bitch.
I beg your pardon? Kimizuka bristled.
Not you, the guy who's waiting on me.
Minorikawa said.
I'm gonna give that son of a bitch a piece of my mind.
So I remember the voice you gave Minorikawa, but I like this one
Let
better.
me guess, it wasn't. Okay.
You gave him like a Dr. Phil voice.
Oh, that was him?
But I feel
Okay,
like the Dr. Phil voice was a little too similar to Achi. Because Achi was very Dr. Phil-esque also.
Okay.
You could try a hybrid of like a Philip Marlowe Dr. Phil.
Dr. Philip Marlowe.
The multi-tenant building where Heaven Publishing had its offices came into view. The taxi stopped outside. Minorikawa opened the door as he hurriedly reached for his wallet. Then he stopped. What if the worst had come to pass, and he needed to take Toyama to a hospital? Should he have the taxi wait here? Or would it be better to call an ambulance? Sir, is there a problem? The driver asked. Alright, choice is yours.
B.
B? Alright.
No, I'm fine. You're a lifesaver. How much do I owe you?
Minorikawa paid the fare and got out of the cab. I'm going to swing by the train station, and if I don't get any passengers, I'll come by this way again, Kimizuka said. The taxi pulled away. Once inside, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be at the editing department of 4-star General Gossip on the 4th floor. Heaven. When he got there, however, the door was locked.
Did he kill himself again? Mr. Toyama! Hey, Mr. Toyama!
He shouted and banged, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and then kicked the door in.
Whoa.
Whoa. Toyama was standing on a stool, about to slip his head through a noose that hung from the ceiling.
What the hell are you doing?
Minorikawa lunged for Toyama. The two men crashed to the floor in a tangled heap. A pile of clutter slid off of a nearby desk and fell on top of them.
Minorikawa, what are you doing here?
Toyama whined.
You're just a whiny little bitch.
Dragging himself back to his feet proved something of a challenge.
That's what I'd like to know.
Minorikawa's fury was mounting.
What the hell is all this about?
He jabbed an accusing finger at the noose hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, that? One of the fluorescent lights died, and I was just swapping it out with the news. Don't you feed me that bowl. What was that phone call about? That business about how the only thing you can do is die. Tell me. Ha ha ha, it's just a joke.
Toyama curled his lips into a faint semblance of a smile. Minorikawa wasn't buying it, but he didn't have time to press the issue. A cute little voice echoed through the editing office. Who
I'm
wants to
feeling
be...
cute and little. I'll feel this one.
Okay.
um, Daddy, I'm back from the store.
A little girl came walking in, carrying a length of rubber gas tubing. It was Toyama's 5th grade daughter, Hana. Her only daughter, who was also 10 years old. The night Hana was born at the hospital, there was an unexpected fireworks display outside the window, so he decided to name his daughter Hana, after the Japanese word for fireworks, hanabi. Minorikawa stared.
Toyama, you planning
Oh
on
no,
using
that's
that hose to...
I think that's you need to use your Minorikawa voice.
Oh, sorry, it's hard to keep all these Japanese names, you know. Um, Toyama, you were planning on using that hose to...
He hesitated to end his sentence with, gas yourself to death.
Well, you know, it's almost gas heater season after all. The hell it is.
It was a beautiful, sunny April day outside.
Well, you know how sensitive I am to the cold.
This was getting truly ridiculous. Minorikawa got right up in his face.
Listen, just explain to me what the heck is going on, okay?
He kept his voice low, but his eyes were steely. Hana clung tightly to her father, gazing worriedly up at the two men.
No, it's just...
Toyama let out a long, heavy sigh of resignation. It's a keep out. I think I know where the keep out is, though. Do you want me to break the keep out, or did you want to do Osawa?
But there's not that many places where you can go, though, right?
Yeah.
Wait, Tama opened back up, though? I'm confused.
No, Osawa opened back up. This guy who was hanging out
Osawa
with the
was
banana
always
guy.
open.
Yeah. Oh, what does he look like? Here he is.
Okay, let's go to Osawa.
Okay. Osawa viewed an image slideshow of the virus's propagation mechanism. Do you remember this guy's deal?
He's like a rich workaholic who, like, his boss, like, started testing the super Ebola plus virus on people in Africa. He's getting, like, blackmailed now and stuff. And all the cops think he's an a-hole because he's not that upset that his daughter is missing, but he's more upset than his wife, who doesn't care about the daughter at all because it's not her daughter.
Yeah.
How did I do?
You did good. There's also, like, the head detective keeps offering him his banana.
Oh yeah, that guy's just an idiot. That guy's worse than Kano.
Osawa viewed an image slideshow of the virus's propagation mechanism. It was a fascinating sight, no matter how many times he looked at it. Viruses existed to multiply, nothing more. They had no motives, no driving logic, nothing but simple multiplication. To Osawa, that fact held a certain air of mystery. If viruses had emotions, how would they feel about their lives? He had thrown himself into virus research in search of answers to questions like that. Answers that no man could truly know.
Dumb question, Lawrence.
He goes to Reddit, explain like I'm 5, and is like,
What does a virus feel like?
not physically, emotionally. His development of the antiviral agent had really been nothing more than another job responsibility. He felt no particular sense of duty to protect people from a killer virus. He was just happy for the chance to play around with UA day after day. Another email arrived in his inbox. Osawa furrowed his brow as he scanned the message. Emergency alert. Come to Heaven Publishing ASAP. If
Ooh,
not,
Heaven Publishing.
someone is
that
going to
sounds
die.
familiar.
Minoru Minorikawa. Love,
Oh wait, what?
Minoru Minorikawa.
That's the Philip Marlowe guy.
Yeah. So, when you play, as we play and open up other people's stories, because I think earlier Minorikawa had that bad end. Once we bypassed that bad end, it opened up the rest of his story, and so I guess that opening up other decisions that he made affects other people's storylines.
Neat.
Heaven Publishing. Oh, I think these are thoughts. I don't remember what voice you gave.
What is this?
He was gruff. He had a gruff voice, I think.
Yeah, a lot of them have gruff voices. I'm trying to differentiate, but
I should start
I'm hardly a
writing them
voice
down.
actor. Little voice notes. That's not a bad idea. Heaven Publishing. Minorikawa.
Osawa wasn't familiar with either of those names. He wondered if it was related to the mysterious emails he'd received earlier.
Of course it is.
Or maybe the sender had some information about the kidnapping. The fact that the message had been signed with a real name instead of a pseudonym, along with its obvious urgency, certainly gave it an air of truth. And the words, "someone is going to die," filled him with a wave of panic.
Maria.
There was no time to waste. In a rush, he found directions to Heaven Publishing on his computer, then slipped out of the house. It took a good while to find his way to the multi-tenant building. The signs in front showed that Heaven Publishing occupied the 3rd and 4th floors. Osawa took the elevator to the 3rd floor. He peeked inside the offices there, only to find the entire place empty. The 4th floor was likewise deserted. I'm not sure. I guess this is
I said. I
Oh.
don't know. Maybe it didn't pick up.
Yeah, maybe it didn't pick up.
It thought I was eating popcorn.
Oh. There was a rope dangling from the ceiling, tied off into a noose. It all seemed rather sinister, but Osawa had no idea what it meant. He waited a good 30 minutes, anxious the whole time. The half hour turned to an hour, and then to 2. It seemed that no one was going to turn up. Osawa headed back to the 3rd floor. He decided to wait there for 1 more hour. By now, he was committed. The extra hour turned into 2. Exhausted, he dozed off in his chair, and when he came to, it was close to sundown.
Sunset already?
He gazed out the window, the haze of sleep still clinging to his mind. He had the feeling he was forgetting something important, but the sight of the sun quietly setting over the cityscape made the crisis of life feel strangely distant. The time of peace and quiet he had longed for was right here.
Wait, what?
A serious email told Osawa to go to Heaven Publishing, but there was nobody there. This email was sent by Minorikawa, of course, At around 11:30, he blasted out an email to all the reporters he knew, but in his hurry, he screwed up one of the addresses, which coincidentally delivered a copy of the message to Osawa. Obviously, this never would have happened if Midorikawa hadn't rushed out that email. Alright, so...
It was not related to the African blackmail messages.
Yeah. I guess we'll see what those emails were about. I'm gonna open up Osawa, really, or not Osawa, Midorikawa.
Okay.
And then we'll go back, because that's the only option we have. Oh. A sigh. Nope. Okay, here we are.
No, it's just...
Toyama let out a long, heavy sigh of resignation.
It's the scratch cards that were in the 4-star general gossip. That's where the problem is.
So if you don't know, scratch cards are a type of lottery card where there's like a special silver ink and you scratch off with a fingertip or a coin to reveal, you know, potential winnings. But to prevent the symbols underneath the silver to show through, you print the back of the card in black. Somehow you always seem to lose when you've got your hopes up, but manage to win when you least expect it. Does that happen when you do scratch cards? Of the scratch cards you have done?
I don't think I've done enough scratch cards in my life to have like a good data. I've maybe done like 6.
What about... I don't know if you play any gacha games or something.
No, I don't know what that is. Isn't that for a kid's thing?
I don't know. Kind of. What about when you're opening up a magic pack?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I always just say, I hope I open something good. Sometimes I do. I never expect to not open the nuts. And what is the problem? If you shine a light on the cards from behind, you can see where the winning symbols are. Whoa.
Whoa.
I messed things up dealing with the printing company. All of this.
He gestured vaguely.
It's my fault. It's my responsibility.
He proceeded to explain the situation in detail. Word was quick to leak on the internet that there was a way to find the winning symbols, and suddenly thousands of cardholders turned up en masse to collect. Heaven Publishing was hit with a massive financial liability, and the employees rushed to flee a sinking ship. Before Toyama realized it, he was the only one left at the company, and he was up against the deadline for next month's 4-star general gossip.
If I have to drop next month's issue, I'll be stuck in debt even deeper. And if that happens, I'm gonna kill myself.
Toyama gave a dismal groan.
So don't drop the issue.
Midorikawa snapped. He pounded his fist right into the side of a cardboard box. But Toyama just shook his head weakly.
I've been up for 3 days straight trying to fill the pages. It's not enough. I can't do the impossible.
He dropped his gaze to the floor. Countless scratch cards lay scattered about. They'd probably been amidst the pile that had fallen off of the desk earlier. Each card showed a neat row of 5 win symbols.
You can't know if it's impossible if you don't see it through. I'll never make it in time. The proof needs to be done by 8 o'clock this evening.
A proof is the final stage before printing, where they do like a test thing, I guess, and then they check it.
I assume that's where the word proofread comes from.
Yeah, probably.
Well then.
Minorikawa thought to himself. He let out a sigh, then held his hand out to Hana.
Hana, would you mind giving me that hose?
Hana gave her father a quick look, then handed the rubber hose to Minorikawa.
This won't be necessary.
He tossed the rubber hose into the trash, then jabbed his finger at Toyama.
Show me the layout and the draft proposal for next month's issue.
Toyama blinked a few times in disbelief.
Huh? You can't possibly be serious. I'm trying to help. Now show me the layout and the proposal before I change my mind.
After a brief, incredulous pause, Toyama hurried off to grab the paperwork. A layout, in publishing speak, is an outline of a magazine showing which articles will occupy which pages. Minorikawa gave it a quick once-over, finding that 12 of the pages were still blank and untouched. He wanted to punch whatever writers had been assigned those pages.
See what I mean?
Toyama said.
It's hopeless.
He sounded perversely proud of his failure. Getting enough material to fill 12 pages by 8 o'clock? Yeah, it was definitely a tall order, all right.
But it's a tabloid. Can't they just make it up? Isn't that what they do anyway? Says who?
Minorikawa replied.
Remember who you're talking to here.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe journalism... I don't know if there's like journalism rules that are aligned by governments and stuff, where like there has to be at least enough truth in it. I don't know. You can't just like post what you want.
I don't know, man. I think you can. You seriously think you can do it? You're joking, right?
Minorikawa shot back.
I seriously know I can do it. There's nothing in this world that I hate more than a bad joke. Why are you doing this for me?
Toyama was getting misty-eyed.
I'm not doing it for you, you spineless wimp. I'm doing this for poor little Hana. Minorikawa, I'm so sorry.
Toyama bowed his head so deeply Minorikawa thought he might put his face through the floor.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to your daughter. Oh, forgive me. Please forgive me, Hana.
Toyama clutched her tightly in his arms. The girl hugged him back, on the verge of tears.
Hey now, enough of the waterworks. I've got your backs. Don't worry about a thing.
Minorikawa picked up the draft proposal for the pages that needed filling. The words Shibuya Scuttlebutt Special were plastered across the cover sheet in big, bold type. Okay, so a 12-page special edition block on Shibuya. Fair enough. And first on the docket, drink yourself thin with burning hammer. This reeked of a scam. The only way drinking more of something would make you lose weight would be if it were mixed with a laxative, probably. Still, there wasn't enough time to tweak the layout plan now. According to the proposal write-up, a product demo was scheduled for 1 p.m. that day. The location printed on the map was blurry and hard to make out, but Minorikawa had a rough idea where it was. It looked like he didn't have much of a choice but to swing by in the hopes of getting more material. He scanned further along into the proposal. Society of Surveillance. Hidden cameras installed throughout Shibuya. The rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. Where are they now? Washed up screenwriter showcase. Sexy Squared. Twins share top prize at local university beauty contest. Shibuya now. Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya, shadowy foreign crime syndicate exposed. Those 7 pieces were to fill the 12 empty pages. That was the plan at any rate, but there wasn't enough material there to make any headway. The Shibuya Now article didn't even have any proposed content. This sucked hardcore. It didn't look like there was much material for the rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad either. The note suggested that a few years prior, a group of youngsters in Shibuya had banded together to help fight crime in their neighborhoods. At this point, however, things had flipped around completely, and they'd become a gang of street punks themselves.
It's Achi's group.
A turn to the dark side. It had the markings for an interesting article, to be sure, but tracking down this gang would take time. Midoriyama was personally intrigued by the one about organ harvesting in Shibuya. The rumor was that organs were being smuggled out of Southeast Asia and fenced locally at a tremendous price. There was even a plan to ascertain the authenticity of these claims. Fascinating. If Midoriyama was going to be spending all day gathering other material, though, he didn't have much time to spare for it. Shibuya Now. The rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. Vigilante. Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya. Midoriyama decided that one of those 3 would have to go. He thought about it long and hard as he stared at the draft proposal. There's a good chance he'd really screw himself over if he picked the wrong one. Finally, he decided to cut... Ooh, what are we gonna cut?
The organ trafficking. It's too involved. Because Shibuya Now, we can just write whatever we want.
That's true.
The vigilantes, we just have to find Achi.
Alright,
But this organ thing, that could take all day.
we're cutting out these organs. Finally, he decided to cut black market organ trafficking in Shibuya. It had the potential to be the most interesting, but getting the material would take way too long. His goal was just to make sure that the gossip made it to press at all. Society of Surveillance, Where Are They Now, Sexy Squared. Those 3 pieces had individuals slated for interviews, but no appointments had been made with any of them. Unscheduled interviews were a dicey prospect. Midoriyama decided to call them up on his cell as he made his way down the list. The only one he managed to get a hold of was Shinosuke Oarai from the Where Are They Now piece, who is a former broadcast writer. He's appeared on various popular variety shows on commercial network Sun TV, and he's currently heading up a small theater troupe known as the Wandering Angels. Later today, the troupe is putting on a performance at Theater Ace in Sakuragao, Kacho. He said he'd be willing to give a 15-minute interview after 2:30. Midoriyama sighed. He'd just have to get material from the others in a more impromptu fashion then. Putting his nose to the grindstone, he started throwing together a schedule for the day. Was it possible to get all that material and write it all up and still finish the whole thing by 8 o'clock? It was no use. No matter how he tweaked it, none of his simulations ended with him having a proof ready on time. He just needed one more thing, and that was another writer. Midoriyama zoomed through his contacts list, calling up all the freelancers he knew. The results were depressing. Answering machines, overseas on business, in the hospital, currently doing time. Before long, he'd called everyone he could think of, except for one. Novice freelancer Chiaki Iso. Chiaki was a bit of an odd duck, a reporter who was scared of talking to people. Midoriyama had never known anyone who became so hopelessly flustered in a one-on-one setting. Did you want to read this one?
Yeah, basically being flustered is when you're in such a rattled state that you can't speak. And so, like, Chaka Sensei Become Flustered is famous among her freelance colleagues. Ooh, it's a girl. One time she even did an interview where she only managed to ask her subject's name. And that was yet another chapter in the legend of hopelessly flustered Chiaki. One of my favorite franchises.
Nice. Can't wait for the sequel. I guess this is the sequel to that.
Oh yeah.
Assuming we recruit her. If she couldn't talk to people, she certainly couldn't do interviews. And if she couldn't get any real interview content, she wouldn't be able to write much in the way of copy. Would she come to his aid if asked? Quite probably. The issue is whether she would hinder more than help. Alright, we got a choice to make. We can call up Chiaki or email folks.
Yeah, let's call up this scrub reporter.
Alright. This was no time for beggars to be choosers. Minorikawa decided to call up Chiaki. The phone rang several times before a sleepy voice finally answered. Who wants to be Chiaki's voice?
Why don't you do Chiaki?
Okay. Mellow. I guess it'd be sleepy. Mellow.
Chiaki, hi, it's Minorikawa. Are you free today?
What? She seemed thrown by the abrupt question.
Did you just wake up?
No, I mean, well, yeah. Good morning. Her voice still sounded half asleep.
Then I'm guessing you don't have any work slated for today, as usual.
Pretty much. No work, no money, no food. Nothing to do except sleep. If I'm not awake, I can't dwell on how hungry I am. She didn't sound well, almost like she literally didn't have anything to eat.
Well, I've got work for you. I'm over at 4-Star General Gossip. Get over here ASAP.
What? You really mean it? That seemed to finally wake her up.
Yeah, but hurry.
Minorikawa decided he'd assign Chiaki to the Shibuya Now piece.
I want you to start by getting interviews off the street around Shibuya Station.
Street interviews? Chiaki's voice came out as a nervous squeak. But, Mr. Mito, street interviews aren't really my,
Listen, bitch, do you want to eat or not? Kid, that was actually pretty close to what he said. Kid, you were just telling me how you couldn't afford to eat. Can you really afford to be picky right now?
Well, I mean, I guess not.
Piece is called Shibuya Now. Just interview at least 10 people and get me an article by 6 o'clock.
Okay. He quickly explained the kind of interviews he was after, then hung up.
Okay, I've got us another writer. We'll get through, Toyama, somehow.
Toyama shrugged gloomily.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's actually one more problem. Are you kidding me?
Minorikawa couldn't hide the irritation. His voice.
What is it now? The loan company is sending a debt collector over at 4 o'clock. But as you can imagine, I don't have a single yen to give them. That's less than ideal, yeah. So what's the plan? Well, they've said provisionally that if next month's issue gets published, they'll be willing to wait on repayment. And there's no problem. The issue's coming out, guaranteed. But they're not going to take my word on that anymore. I'm going to need to prove it. If we could fill, say, half of the 12 pages by the time they show up, I could probably convince them. Alright.
Minorikawa said wearily.
So for starters, we need 6 pages by 4 o'clock.
They had to get all 12 pages done as it was. That made a perfect midpoint to shoot for.
Any other problems you'd like to let me know about? No.
Toyama said.
No, that's all. Just let me touch your hands real quick. I really am sorry about this, Minorikawa.
Again, he bowed his head low. Minorikawa felt distinctly awkward. He had known Toyama for years, and had never been kowtowed to like this before. Kowtowed to. Like this before.
Yeah, well, just let me handle it, alright?
Minorikawa unfolded a map of Shibuya. The first order of business was deciding where to begin getting content. He marked the editing office with a circle, then considered where to head next. Diet drink sales demo, center guy. Where are they now? Sakura Gaoka, theater ace. Society of Surveillance, which is in Dogonzaka, Endo Electronics. Sexy Squared, Midoriyama Academy, which is a university associated with Midoriyama High School. Notable alumni include famous actress Masami Nagahama. Now that's the Masagi Nagahama that
Hana's Gia?
Yeah. Not confirmed, I guess. And National High School Baseball Championship winning pitcher, the Tissue Prince. It's educational.
Using those tissues for.
I wonder where that name came from. Its educational philosophy is summed up in its slogan: words, skill, and beauty. A very high percentage of winners of the Miss Midoriyama contest go on to careers in the entertainment industry.
Ooh. What kind of entertainment?
Acting. Singing.
Ooh, what kind of acting? Ooh, what kind of singing?
Sports.
All right.
Shibuya Vigilantes. Location TBD. The diet drink sales demo was at 1 o'clock, and the interview with Shinosuke Oarai for Where Are They Now was slated for 2:30. So those times were set. The question was what to do in the interim. Alright, we got a choice.
All right, let's go with B. I don't want to. I'm tempted to sabotage and just go to the drink center early, but no. Let's go say hi to Achi, or at least his dad.
Okay. It would be fun to sabotage, but we already know what happens. Or we can assume what happens. It was a bit of a hike, but maybe he should go to Dogonzaka and check out Endo Electronics. Yeah, that should give him what he needed to put together the Society of Surveillance piece.
Okay, I'm heading out. And don't even think about doing anything else stupid while I'm gone. Got it?
Minorikawa hustled out of the editing office, hoping Toyama would take his admonition to heart. A taxi came by just as Minorikawa stepped outside. Huh?
Huh? Oh.
Oh, maybe it is you. I don't know who it is.
Huh? You again?
It was Kimizuka's taxi again. What can I say? I know how to sniff out a guy who's going places.
Really? Well done, Dogonzaka ASAP.
Son of a bitch. Minorikawa bristled.
I beg your pardon?
That son of a bitch you wanted to give a piece of your mind, sir. Was he waiting for you like you expected?
What's with the porn music? Oh, yeah. And I damn well did give him a piece of my mind, too.
Maybe they're bonding.
I think so.
Glad to hear it, sir. The taxi sped off.
Do you ship Minorikawa and the taxi driver?
Oh yeah. Midorikawa pulled out the proposal and looked it over again. The idea for the surveillance story revolved around the claim that hidden cameras had been installed throughout Shibuya's shopping districts, upwards of 500 of them. Supposedly, these had eliminated lots of blind spots, and the crime rate in the area had dropped significantly. The cameras were managed by Daisuke Endo, the owner of Endo Electronics and chairman of the local downtown committee. That was Minorikawa's first mission then. He needed to get this guy's story. Scanning the side of the road, Minorikawa finally spotted a rundown electronics shop. The sign out front, which looked like it might fall off at any moment, read, Endo Electronics.
Right here is fine.
The taxi stopped, and Minorikawa pulled a 10,000 yen bill from his wallet.
Oh, that's big bucks. That's $100. Keep the change.
He said. What?
Listen, I like you a lot. Don't sweat it. The name is Minoru Minorikawa, and I'm a freelance writer. I care about two things, what's real and what's true. There's real worth to what you've done for me. That there's a token of my appreciation. It's not much, but please, take it.
Minorikawa slid out of the taxi and headed for the electronics store. Inside, Endo Electronics looked more like a mountain of hoarded junk than an actual business. Towering piles of ancient appliances stretched toward the ceiling. Old television sets with dial knobs leaned against computers with 5-inch floppy drives. A floppy drive is a storage medium for personal computers from 1976 to 2001. You know what a floppy disk is, right?
Yeah, sure.
We were around that time.
Yeah,
Technically
I was flopping
speaking.
it up in the 90s.
Door, released in 1983, the debut title from this game's producer, was produced in a 5-inch floppy version.
Good to know. A little self-insert there.
What was that?
Like it? A little self-insert there.
Yeah. I feel like he makes a cameo. I don't remember.
Nice.
I'll have to look. It'll be a while, though, from the person I'm thinking of. What possible use could there be for all this outdated stuff?
Mr. Endo, are you in here?
Minorikawa called out. Nobody came to greet him. The shop was definitely open, though. Surely the proprietor hadn't left it unattended.
Hey, Mr. Endo. Come on, I know you're in there.
After a short wait, Minorikawa heard sounds from the living space behind the shop. A door opened to reveal a tired-looking middle-aged man. Oh, this is me. I think I voiced his dad. Dr. Phil-esque, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you want?
Are you Mr. Endo?
Minorikawa asked. I am, the man said guardedly. And, I'm sorry, but, I'm in the middle of something at the moment. Could you come back tomorrow, or,
Please, just give me a minute. I'm a freelance writer. Name's Minorikawa.
Minorikawa showed Endo his business card.
I'm writing an article at 4-Star General Gossip.
A magazine piece, huh?
Precisely. So if you could just have a little, if I could just have a little of your time today.
The phone rang, cutting him off before he could get down to business. I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse me for a moment. Endo reached into the clutter and pulled out a telephone. Hello? Endo Electronics? The proprietor listened for a moment, then raised an eyebrow.
Yeah, that's a problem, alright. Alright, understood. I'll try to get a hold of the customer then.
Endo set the receiver back down.
What was that all about?
Minorikawa asked.
Oh, yesterday I sold a dry ice machine, and the manufacturer just called to let me know that the model is defective.
Effective.
Apparently, once it starts making dried ice, it won't stop. I need to tell the customer I have to recall the machine and refund their deposit. Please give me a moment.
Endo sifted through some sales slips, read a number off of one, and made a phone call. Nobody picked up on the other end, however.
Oh, that's right, he grumbled to himself. He said they had some performance today.
Performance.
I sold it to a guy from some theater troupe. They're called the Wandering Angels or something.
Wandering Angels are the theater troupe run by Shinosuke Oarai. This afternoon, at 5:30 p.m., they are performing their 22nd piece, Au revoir. Right now, all of the actors are already at the theater except for Akiyomi Mondo, who plays the rival of the main character, Ryu. The angry production chief has sent his assistant to Mondo's apartment, but he does not yet know what awaits him there. Continued in the tale of The Wandering Angels, Episode 2. 6 episodes in all. The Wandering Angels? That was Shinosuke Oarai's theater troupe. Minorikawa had an interview with him booked for 2:30.
Anyhow, what can I do you for?
Minorikawa hastily explained what he was after. Endo gave him a dubious look.
As I said earlier, I'm a bit busy right now.
Busy cleaning up, I hope. How do you get anything done in this mess?
Why, are you this rude to all your interview subjects?
Of course I am. I'm a journalist. We're all assholes. 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, please.
You've got to be joking. Go on, get the hell out of here.
Endo headed for his back room in a huff.
Fine, then I'll just have to write about what you've already told me. Namely, that Endo Electronics sell defective merchandise.
Just what are you implying?
Did you or did you not sell that theater troupe a defective piece of equipment?
Look, I'm going to get in touch with them as soon as...
I'm betting they're in a hurry preparing for their performance. I doubt you'll be getting through to them today.
Endo bit his lip.
Now that I have your attention,
Minorikawa said.
let's make a deal.
What kind of deal?
I'm meeting with a member of the Wandering Angels a little later today. I can let them know about the dry ice machine for you. In exchange, all you have to do is give me my interview.
Endo scowled.
And where's your proof that you'll be meeting with the Wandering Angels?
I might take advantage of a guy when he's down,
Minorikawa replied.
but one thing I'm not is a liar.
The shopkeeper took a few moments to think about it.
Fine.
He grumbled.
5 minutes. That's all you'll get.
Minorikawa whipped his notepad out of his coat like he was drawing a gun.
Well, let's get right down to it, shall we?
Go right ahead.
So I hear that over 500 surveillance cameras have been installed throughout Shibuya's shopping districts.
Yes, that's right.
Why so many?
We used to have a lot of, delinquents in town. Delinquents are, young people who act rowdy or, cause trouble, often at arcades or, convenience store parking lots, and who frequently resort to, petty theft and other mischief. They're also referred to, as, ruffians or hoodlums.
Endo said the
He
word
looks so
with...
small. Why is he's so much smaller than the journalist?
He's like hidden within all those boxes. Endo said the word with marked distaste.
Oh yeah. I remember there being some problem kids around.
And there were real punks. They vandalized my signs, made a mess of my storehouse. They were just awful.
I see.
Minorikawa scribbled diligently in his notepad.
Heck, my own son put together a sort of vigilante squad to help teach those punks a lesson.
Wait. Vigilante squad. Whoa, hold up right there for a sec.
Minorikawa jutted out his hand to interrupt. This guy's son was part of the vigilante squad? What a stroke of luck. Maybe he could also provide some info for the article on the gangs of Shibuya.
Alright, I don't mean to get too far off topic here, but could you tell me the name of this group your son belongs to?
They call themselves SOS. Prided themselves on being the top gang in Shibuya and all that.
SOS, originally a group of well-meaning young people who would get together downtown as a sort of vigilante squad.
But now they're bad.
Now they're bad. Do you
We
remember
were
what
good,
SOS?
but now we're bad.
Do you remember what SOS stands for? I think in an older tip.
Studs of Shibuya.
Yeah. Achi is pretty studsy, huh?
Yeah, but I think this journalist is hotter.
The top gang in Shibuya.
Did I really just hit the jackpot here? Not to pat myself on the back, but go me. All I have to do is step outside and the story finds me. I think I might be a natural at this. As it happens, I'd also like to interview people from SOS. Would you be able to put me in touch with your son?
Yeah, sure. But you should know that my son isn't in the gang anymore.
Ooh, we got a jump point. So we can hop over to Achi after this. Unless you want to do it now. I'm fine with finishing this off first.
Let's continue with this.
Okay.
Oh,
Minorikawa hesitated.
guess he's of no use to me then. Wait, why? He could.
Oh, believe me,
What?
I know how you feel.
The look on Endo's face spoke volumes. There's no point in interviewing Endo's son if he wasn't with the gang anymore.
But why not? He started he founded the gang.
I figured that Minorikawa's run of good luck would end eventually. Maybe he needs, like, up-to-date info. If he's not part of the gang, he doesn't necessarily know what's going on with it, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree, he could still ask him. Still, he'd gotten a lead in the form of a name. SOS. That was progress.
Alright, so back to the matter at hand.
He flipped his notepad back open.
What did you decide to do about all these juvenile delinquents?
I set up a tiny little web camera in order to protect my property. A web camera is a camera designed to send video information to a computer via the internet. You can see them everywhere, especially now in 2021 when this is being recorded.
I just realized we're listening to more porn music.
They're bonding.
This guy bonds with everyone. I see. He likes saying that. I see. And I'm guessing the webcam did the trick.
Sure did. And so then other local businesses heard about it and started asking me to install some for them. Web cameras aren't particularly expensive, so it wasn't too tough to set them up all over downtown.
Who's in charge of these security cameras?
Members of the Downtown Business Committee take turns. The cameras are connected via a wireless network that business owners can access throughout the area. A wireless network is a LAN, or a local area network.
Alright, moving on.
How's your security for this wireless network?
Oh, no problems on that front.
Endo seems surprised at the question.
All of the footage gets sent over the network. All of the footage sent over the network is fully encrypted. Which is, you know, when you encode data, so it's indecipherable by a third party. You know, you need keys to unlock encryptions. That's how it works.
Still, people can't feel too good about being recorded on camera without their knowledge, don't you think?
Minorikawa asked. The shopkeeper's expression darkened. Yeah, Japan is very, what am I trying to say? What is the word I'm thinking of? I guess they value privacy quite a bit. Like when they post photos, like sometimes they'll like
I've
they'll
heard
blur
of,
out like kids' faces because they need like explicit permission or something in order to share someone's photo online.
Yeah, I've heard that like, so I know some people who went to Japan and they like they took pictures, you know, hanging out with the Japanese and like post them on Facebook, and then they got really pissed. They're like, you can't come back here and hang out. You can't hang out with us again. Like, that was like messed up that you posted us on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah. So usually, like when people take pictures with me, they ask, "Is it okay if I post this?"
Do you say yes?
Yeah, I say yes. I've seen one person say no. And they like tried to like, they had the guy like step off to the side while they took a picture of us.
We hope to strike a balance between crime prevention and protecting individual privacy.
And who determines what that balance is?
Minorikawa let a note of challenge slip into his voice.
That would be me. I've been entrusted with the management of the security cameras.
I see. So essentially, you're providing your own moral oversight.
Are you implying that I'm abusing my authority?
Endo shot back.
I'm doing this in the name of public order. Right. You've had your 5 minutes. Now get out of here.
The shopkeeper stood up and headed into the back.
I'll be sure to let the Wandering Angels know about the dry ice machine.
Minorikawa hollered at the closing door. Episode 2. When Akiomi Mondo didn't show up at the theater at the meetup time, production assistant Yukio Tozuka went to call on him at his apartment. Upon arriving, Tozuka found that the place had been staked out by debt collectors. Mondo had borrowed 300,000 yen, and they wouldn't leave his home until he paid up. It looked like the only way to save Mondo was to give the debt collectors the operating funds for the theater. But before Tozuka could head back to relay this news, the props master, Shinichi Bando, showed up. To be continued.
Wait, that's a lot more exposition-y than like most of these asides. They're usually just like, oh, here's the definition of what a camera is.
Yeah. This is like an entire plot line. Endo didn't reply. Thank goodness. I don't know if I can do that voice. Minorikawa had gotten enough of a story to put an article together, so he decided to hurry to a coffee shop and get started on some copy. He was making his way downtown along Dogenzaka
Making my way downtown.
when his cell phone rang. The incoming call display showed Chiaki's name.
Chucky, what's going on?
Oh, it's no use. She sounded like she was on the verge of tears.
What's no use?
I can't do this. I just can't talk to people passing by on the street.
What? Why not?
It's just that everyone seems so busy when they're walking past. If I try to interrupt them, they're gonna be all mad at me.
Well, who the hell cares if they get mad?
Minorikawa was ready to start ripping his hair out. I don't want them to be mad at me, she whimpered again. Well, this wasn't about what she wanted, was it? She was supposed to be working, not whining.
Look, Chucky, you need to get me those interviews, period. Do I make myself clear?
He hung up before she could squeeze in an ejection.
Damn it.
Minorikawa muttered.
Just what I needed. One more thing to worry about.
He pulled at his hair a few times, then cast his worried gaze in the direction of Shibuya Station. Nice. To be continued.
Alright, so we made all the right choices.
Osawa is at to be continued. Tama's at to be continued, so that's good. Alright, so we just have Achi. Did you want to do Achi and finish off this hour?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Jump, son. Jump, son.
Jump,
son.
My
As it happens, I'd also like to interview people from the SOS. Would you be able to put me in touch with your son?
Yeah, sure, but you should know that my son isn't in the gang anymore.
Alright. Do you remember what they were doing?
He, like, rescued her? We haven't seen this guy in a long time, right?
Yeah, it's been a few episodes. So the kidnapper, when he took the briefcase from her, said to find a blue van. And her sister will be there.
Okay. But they told me, look.
There it was. A blue van had appeared nearby, parked in a spot that had been empty previously. Achi couldn't see who was inside, but there was definitely something fishy about it. Besides, there weren't any other blue cars around, so this had to be it. He'd been right. The crooks had come back after all.
I'm gonna take a quick look.
Achi said.
You wait here.
But before he could carry out his plan, Hitomi jumped to her feet. Without a word, she rushed toward the van.
Hold on. I said wait.
She wasn't slowing down. Achi caught hold of her arm.
Wait. This could be dangerous. What if the kidnapper's in there?
And what if my sister's in there? I have to go help her. Achi knew full well what it was like to be impulsive, but this was one situation where cooler heads would have to prevail. We can't just hang out here, she insisted. What if the car takes off again?
That's why I said I was gonna go take a look first.
But isn't that
pardon me.
dangerous? What if they do something to my sister because some random guy comes snooping around?
Yeah, you got a point.
Achi thought as fast as he could, which honestly wasn't very fast. The criminal told Hitomi to get into the van. There had to be some specific reason for that. What if they were planning to abduct her as well? Whatever the case, he couldn't just let her go. He had to make a snap decision. Alright, which one should we do?
Let's go together.
Let's go together.
Okay, let's go together then. Does that work for you? Please, we have no idea who or what we might run into.
Hitomi gave a slight nod. Alright, she said. But let me go first and you follow, okay?
Got it.
Achi replied. Achi waited as Hitomi started walking, then followed her at a distance, so it wouldn't look like they were together. She headed straight for the van. Two men got out of the car, neither of them Japanese. Achi picked up his pace in case he needed to close the distance fast. One of the men approached Hitomi and said something to her. She gave an affirming nod. Suddenly, the two men grabbed her from either side. They dragged her to the van and shoved her into the back seat. Achi broke into a sprint. Of course it was a trap. He couldn't guess what their whole plan was, but kidnapping Hitomi was obviously part of it. But before he could reach the vehicle, the doors slid shut. The van sped off an instant later. Achi raced after it. He ran as hard as he could, thinking of nothing else. He couldn't give up now. Couldn't let things end like this. He'd made a promise. No quitting halfway, and no turning his back on someone in trouble. But the car kept getting further and further away. Before long, it was just a blue speck that vanished into the cityscape.
No.
Achi never saw Hitomi again. Baldo
That's bad.
Endo.
That's just not good.
Well, Achi did try to warn Hitomi that checking out the van by herself was dangerous. And oh look, she got herself kidnapped. Maybe he should have put his foot down and checked on things himself first. Alright, we know what decision we have to fix. Alright, here we go.
Look, just let me go first. I don't want to put you at any risk.
Hitomi's determination wavered at the look in Achi's eyes.
Please.
He continued.
We have no idea who or what we might run into. If I think they're going to try to run off again, I'll give some signal. Then you come along, and I doubt they'll be interested in leaving then.
Hitomi gave a reluctant nod. Please, be careful.
Will do.
And tell me if my sister's in there.
I will, but you can count on it.
Achi stepped out into the open and started walking toward the van. He tried his best to look as if he wasn't paying it any attention.
Yep, I'm just an ordinary passerby.
As he got nearer, he tried to sneak a glimpse inside. The van's dark window film made it hard to see who might be inside, or even how many people. Casually, he moved closer still to get a better look. Suddenly, the sliding door burst open, and several people jumped out. None of them were Japanese. Within moments, Achi was surrounded.
Whoa, what? Hey, what's the deal?
Achi said. He let out a little chuckle.
Oh man, that thing must be packed. How many seats you got in that thing anyway?
He took another step toward the vehicle and looked inside. One of the men pulled a knife from inside his jacket, thrusting it out in Achi's direction. He probably meant it as a simple threat, but on reflex, Achi went into self-defense mode, kicking him right in the jaw. There was a loud crack as his foot connected. The man dropped out like a light. The others stared, then rushed him. Well, this sure hadn't gone as planned. Too late to take it back now. Damage was done. Achi was just going to have to take out the rest of these punks, too. He nimbly shifted his feet, evading their initial attack. Having to take these guys on 3-1 wasn't going to be pretty. Achi! He heard Hitomi cry out. Crap. He hadn't given any signal, but she had come out of hiding anyway.
Hitomi, stay back.
How is he supposed to fight off 3 guys and protect her at the same time? What could he do? What should he do? Within moments, a number of passers-by had gathered around the fight. Maybe they'd heard Hitomi shouting.
Hey, what's going on?
Gonna be this passerby.
Sure.
My God, is that a knife?
This ain't just some petty squabble.
Someone, call the police.
Some of them began taking photos with their cell phones. One of the men cursed in frustration, then signaled for his buddies to get back into the car. Achi couldn't stop them. The engine roared to life, and the van sped away. Knowing he'd never catch them on foot, Achi merely watched it go. He'd failed. This was his fault. All of it. Achi bit his lip. Hard. How could he possibly face Hitomi now? Achi. Hitomi's voice was hollow, empty. Achi stared down at his feet like a scolded child.
I'm sorry. I didn't see whether your sister was in there or not.
I see. The words, so simple and matter-of-fact, stung him to the heart.
I'm so sorry.
But Hitomi simply shook her head. The fact that she wasn't even chewing him out made him feel all the worse.
I know I messed up, but I'll...
He was going to say, I'll make up for it somehow, but he froze with fear at what he saw next. Across the street, staring at them, was the man with the cane.
You told me it's him.
They had to get out of here. He grabbed Hitomi by the hand and bolted down Dogenzaka. The assassin followed, staying on his side of the road. Achi wasn't sure what to do. Should they try heading into the alleys and side streets again? No, it was more dangerous to head someplace where there'd be fewer witnesses. Best to stick to Dogenzaka for now. The man wouldn't be able to gun them down if they managed to lose themselves in the crowd along Center Guy first. Besides, this guy had to use a cane. Achi and Hitomi could outrun him. Hand in hand, they sped along Dogenzaka and through the intersection in front of the 109 building. Would you say this is bonding music also?
Yeah. I think so. It's pretty intimate.
Any song can be bonding music if you really, want to put in the work, right?
If you bond hard enough, yeah.
Yeah. I'm imagining bonding to a ska song. Do you think people have done that before, right?
Oh yeah, like in the 90s, I'm sure. Put on some real big fish, some mighty mighty boss tones, and do some bonding. 100%.
Imagine you're like getting down and dirty, and then they're like, I gotta put on this song, and it opens with somebody once told me.
That would probably just make the bonding that much more intense.
Nice.
Come on, Hitomi, just a little further.
Okay. She was panting, but she pressed on.
Ooh.
Achi risked a glance back over his shoulder.
Oh,
He stopped in surprise. What's wrong? Hitomi asked.
that guy, he's not following us. Is that Kano in the background?
Looks like it. The slope leading down to the intersection wasn't all that steep. Several plainclothes detectives had been hiding amidst the crowd in the intersection as part of the kidnapping stakeout. Right now, Director Kuze is sending a message to all officers over the wireless, so the detectives have stopped to listen in. It's a bit unusual. An observant individual might notice. So I guess he noticed all these detectives standing around with their fingers in their ears. It was strange that the gunman hadn't bothered to pursue. Still, there was no time to worry about his behavior right now.
Hitomi, can you still run?
Yes, I'm alright.
This is our chance. This way.
They needed to put plenty of distance behind them before the assassin came after them again. But they needed to find the van again and rescue Hitomi's sister. Would they be able to find it and yet stay hidden from the man with the cane? Achi wasn't sure one way or the other, but with Hitomi in tow, he hurried onward towards Center Guy. To be continued. Alright, with that I think we finished the hour.
Sweet.
It's going to give us a little preview first, I think. Nice.
We're good. I thought we made some good decisions there.
Yeah, we got him to the end. I feel like this is a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah. Definitely.
All
good
of our
stuff.
dudes are open.
Nice. Nice wide open dudes. Like it.
Alright. So yeah. You have any theories? I don't know. Theories or like impressions of what's going on?
I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that maybe some of these storylines are connected.
Oh yeah?
That's my hot take.
Who do you think is the key? Like the guy who's gonna bring them all together?
The girl in the Hello Kitty plushie outfit.
There's gonna be like an Avengers moment where like they're all standing back to back, surrounded by the foreigners, not Japanese people. But the the not Japanese people are gonna be like yelling like in that scene in the Avengers.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, that is the episode. Catch us next week when we jump into... What was the time again? Noon?
12 to 13, yep.
Yeah, we're gonna jump in at noon. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, do you have anything to say before we go, Yoshi?
Just have fun. Always be yourself and keep on scrambling. Always be scrambling.
Always be scrambling. Make sure you don't go together when you're checking out blue vans. Always make sure you go first. Don't let the other person go first.
Unless it's just like a girl who's wearing blue van or a guy who's wearing blue vans, and you're like, oh, her ankles or his ankles look really good in those blue vans. Let's go check them out. In that case, it's okay to bring a friend.
So in that case, what happens when you say shotgun?
People think you're weird.
Nice. So I probably shouldn't say that next time.
All right, folks.
I'm cutting this off. I don't know what's going on.
It's all good. We'll see you next week, people.